My first question to you is how significant is this visit of Afghanistan's acting FM Amir Khan Muttaqi for India-Afghanistan relations?
Well, thank you for having me over. Well, I think it is a significant visit. It is the first since 20 since they took over in 2021. But of course, this is a step forward in a number of measures that we have taken, where we have mutually engaged with each other at the level of foreign secretaries. And as you know, after Operation Sindoor, foreign minister had spoken to them. Um, and we have had contacts at official level. So this is the perhaps the next logical step. I'm told that he was to come here earlier, but that got postponed. So I think we are expecting him tomorrow.
Know that India is moving towards recognizing the Taliban government.
Uh, you see, this of course is a step towards engagement and publicly engaging with Taliban, and with a view to see how we can move forward on various aspects. Recognition is one part of it, and of course, a very important part. But I would not say that this visit necessarily will lead to recognition. But yes, it is a step towards recognition. But uh, and then China has shown that actually, even without a recognition, you could have normal diplomatic interchanges and close relations. Uh, but we also have a concern in terms of the development partnership projects that we have that are being planned, perhaps, and also the humanitarian aspects because of our old relationship with Afghanistan.
Mentioned about the concerns. So, what could be India's main interests or concerns behind engaging with the Taliban now?
I think, of course, most would perhaps list security as the main concern. But I don't think that really is a concern because no Taliban, uh, if you look at its track record, it has not had any ill will towards India. In fact, all that you have done over the last 20 years, they do carry, and we have interacted with some of them. I personally have also interacted with some, including very recently, last month, I was in Kabul. And I did meet Foreign Minister Muttaqi. I had gone in an official capacity. Uh, so, plus, they are not exporting terror. The concern really is that areas in Afghanistan don't become ungoverned areas where they're out of control of the government, because that becomes a breeding ground or a training ground for uh, India focused terror groups, which Pakistan wishes to push and use as a training ground in Afghanistan. So that, and of course, humanitarian assistance, because the country has suffered substantially. Its economy hasn't picked up as much as it would have. A lot of people, after the collapse of the last regime and the changeover of the government, a lot of people went into poverty. It is prone to natural disasters. You had in September only you had a major earthquake. So there are a lot of concern. And India has been one of the major donors when it comes to humanitarian assistance and to ensure that the medical facilities, the food supplies, perhaps even access to education, etc., is provided to the young Afghans.
So, recently and perhaps yesterday, the Moscow format talks also took place on this Afghanistan issue. And so, how might this visit to Russia and then later to India is going to impact other regional players like Iran, Pakistan, and of course the US?
You see, I don't think, well, first, as I said, that his visit to India, I think, was planned before. I think he wanted to come here before. That couldn't happen. But, Mr. Motaki is also under UN's sanctions in terms of restrictions on the movement. So it is not often that he gets this permission. And I think he must have got this permission to go to Russia and then come here. So that is how it has happened. And I don't think it's going to impact anything. Iran also has been engaging with the Taliban. So is Pakistan. China, as you know, has a full-fledged ambassador there. Russia has already provided recognition. So there is I would say, a change in the regional consensus in terms of completely banishing Taliban to moving towards engaging it more fruitfully to become a normal partner in the regional initiatives. So I don't think it'll be seen otherwise. I don't know about Pakistan, but Pakistan also, while it has very troubled relations with the Taliban, since it feels a bit, uh, I would say, at a loss that its policies haven't paid the dividends that it was expecting, which also were wrong expectations. So they may look at it a bit differently. Advised Afghanistan foreign minister coming to India. The rest of the region, I don't think this would be of any concern.
Certainly, sir. And as you also mentioned that China showed us how they can engage with Taliban without even recognizing the government. So, do you think that India's outreach is driven by how China and Pakistan are engaging with Taliban government at this moment?
Uh, not really, because our relationship, I think, are historical, cultural, and very deep rooted. So there is, and look at it. If you just look at it from the economics point of view, traditionally, India has been the largest market for all Afghan exports. Afghan used to be sort of organically linked to Indian economy. From his, no, so since sort of ages. It's not only a recent thing, which has suffered. So I think there is a need to rebuild that. A lot of our exports have suffered also after 2021. We have lost that preeminent position. I think Pakistan today is bigger. Exports from Iran have substantially gained. So there are both geopolitical, but also basically humanitarian and commercial hard-headed reasons by which we should actually engage them so that we don't lose both the goodwill as well as the market.
Sir, another important question that comes in our mind is what are the risks that India uh, is going if will face if it recognizes the Taliban government?
You see, it is more the nature of the Taliban government is such that it runs a certain reputational risk. And I think that is what is making every nation hesitant. Beyond that, I don't think there are other major risks that I see. In fact, I think it'll be useful if the government in Afghanistan is normalized, and you can see that there are people within the government, in the Taliban government, who are pushing towards greater integration, no early recognition, trying to normalize the situation there. But there are elements which are pulling it back, and you would have seen some of the recent examples. For example, while you are seeking recognition, you're also cutting yourself off from the rest of the world by cutting down the fiber optics or shutting down the internet. And I think yesterday, I think all the social media ban has come place. Then the way you are treating women, no, and there's many hardcore elements within the Taliban, which obviously have a very different view of how to treat women. So much so that they nearly actually gave women a death sentence when the earthquake took place, because I think there was an order that male rescuers will not rescue women from the debris. So basically, and if there are no women rescuers there because women are not allowed to work, then basically the women who are stuck in the debris are being given a death sentence, that they will die there. So these are things that obviously is not accepted by all Afghans, including within Taliban. So there is a push to normalize things, and that is why they seek support, they seek sort of recognition. But obviously, I can also see that there are pressures and powers which are pulling Afghanistan really backwards into some 13th century situation.
Certainly, sir. Just one last question. In fact, two more questions. What role India can play in Afghanistan's humanitarian and development needs under this Taliban regime? And what exactly is the sentiment of Afghan public with respect to this visit by Afghanistan's acting foreign minister to India?
I think Afghan public sentiments towards India have been positive. We perhaps may have had a setback, and especially, after the Taliban has come, the Afghan society sort of split between those who were supporting the current regime and the supporters of the earlier regime. So that is very understandable. So they perhaps many of them, and I know some of them who feel a bit let down by India's stance. But then India also has to be practical. One cannot wish away a reality, or India cannot impose a change in the political system in Afghanistan. That is really for the Afghans to decide. So having said that, I think our concerns remain exactly the same. That it is one of South Asian members, which was the latest to join in 2008. I think it remains an important neighbor, and of course, it is poor, so it needs our assistance. And I think what PM had initially enunciated in 2015, actually, when he had gone to Kabul, that India is looking at, what he said, "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas," basically that the rising tide of India's economy, etc., should be in a position to lift the boats in the neighboring countries, etc., and only then we will have prosperity, peace, and stability in this region.